It is 4:30 a.m. Bhaskar Rao is ready to set off on his journey to Kakarlapalli village for collection of milk. Bhaskar Rao is a milk vendor. Every morning he collects milk from different producers in the village. His first stop is Kumar's house. Kumar is a milk producer. Bhaskar Rao acts as his morning wake-up alarm. This is a routine that they have been following for the past 12 years. Bhaskar Rao's forefathers were in the same profession. Bhaskar Rao, or one of his family members, is always present when Kumar milks his buffaloes. Though they are very good friends, Bhaskar Rao knows well that if he or his family member is not present, Kumar might mix water and dilute the milk. Bhaskar Rao and Kumar are two very vital links of the traditional milk sector, or TMS. The traditional milk sector refers to those channels served by either producers or vendors serving unprocessed, unbranded milk in loose form or in plastic bottles or pouches in flexible quantities and prices. Vendors like Bhaskar Rao cater to different kinds of consumers at the market level. They are mainly households and institutions like hospitals, hostels, hotels, sweet shops and tea shops.
As per data derived for 2005-2006, an estimated 77% of the milk marketed in India, or roughly some 49 million metric tons of milk, passes through the traditional channel annually. The channel serves some 46 million small milk producer families, 110 million consumer families, and a few million vendors, generating high livelihood support and employment. It is the only channel which provides milk market access to some 450,000 low-producing villages in India, which remain uncovered by the organized form of milk marketing. In spite of such vast potential, the traditional milk channel remains sadly neglected under programs, policies and development strategies. Any intervention in this area is bound to benefit millions of resource-poor farmers, consumers and vendors through improved market access, increased income and livelihood support.
To understand the dynamics of the traditional milk market and to identify interventions for improving the sector, an action research on the traditional milk sector was conducted in Khammam districts of Andhra Pradesh, India, between April 2005 and July 2006. The action research was initiated, supported and funded by CALPI, a program of SDC and Intercooperation.
The Swiss Agency for Development and Cooperation has been very active in the development of the dairy and livestock sector in India for over 4 decades. And now it has started for a few years back, a program called CALPI, designed to capitalize on the experiences SDC and its partners have accumulated in the livestock sector in order to contribute to policy development and policies that are in favor of poor and marginalized farmers. The action research on traditional milk market is an important component of this program and is aiming at developing policies in favor of the poor. the awareness that will be built through this action research should result in innovative measures being taken in this segment of the market, which will benefit marginalized farmers as well as vendors and processors.
The action research was carried out by a team led by Catalyst Management Services, Bangalore. The others in the research team comprised experts from the Department of Animal Husbandry, Andhra Pradesh, the National Dairy Research Institute, Bangalore, and the two facilitating non-governmental organizations, Active and Secure.
Given the informal nature of the sector and the need to get insights on dynamics than just collecting data, the study was taken up in an action research mode. This helped the stakeholders to understand the situation, identify solution, at the same time take up simultaneous actions.
The action research identified two categories of vendors. Vendors who are also primary milk producers and vendors who are pure market agents. The other key players in the channel are creameries, product-making units and the consumers. Producers also sell their produce to the local dairies and cooperatives. They collect milk through fixed centers in the village. But the producers generally prefer vendors to the private dairies for various factors.
భాస్కరావు పాల కేంద్రం పెట్టి మామూలుగా 15 సంవత్సరాలు బట్టి తెలుసండి బాగా. మేము వాళ్ళు కలిసిమెలిసి ఉన్నట్టు ఉంటాం. బంధుత్వంగా అయితే వాళ్ళు ఏమైనా ఫంక్షన్ జరిగినా మేము రావటం వాళ్ళు వెళ్ళటం మంచిదిగా బాగా క్లోజ్గా ఉంటాం. ఎన్న శాతం కూడా ఎంత అంతే శాతం. అంతేగాని మనం లాభం చేద్దాం అది చేద్దామని ఉండదు. ఎంత ఉంటే అంతే శాతం. కాకపోతే ఆ మిగిలేది పోసిన తర్వాత ఆ డబ్బాలు కొద్దిగా మిగిలే పాలు వరకు ఉంచుకుంటాం. ఏదైనా డబ్బులు ఏదైనా అవసరం ఉన్నా కూడా ముందే మేము అడ్వాన్స్కి ఇచ్చేస్తారు. 1000, 2000, 3000 ఎంత ఉంటే అంత. ఏదైనా ఫంక్షన్లకు కావాలన్నా ఇస్తారు. ఏదన్నా హాస్పిటల్ పనులు ఉన్నా కూడా ఇచ్చేస్తారండి.
But the traditional milk sector is not without its faults. It has some weaknesses that need attention. All vendors generally pay a common price to all producers irrespective of quality. They do not follow quality-based pricing. Many small-scale vendors operate on small quantities of milk and the average is only about 38 liters per day. They carry milk in PVC bottles, GI cans, jerry cans, and some medium and large-scale vendors use plastic cans which are not made of food-grade plastics. These cans are not easy to clean. This increases the microbial load and adversely affects the quality of milk. Collection by producers is mostly only in the morning. The farmer generally adds the surplus evening milk to the next day's morning milk without preservation. This adversely affects the quality. Had there been some infrastructure for chilling and preservation, the situation would have been different. 50% of vendors add neutralizers like sodium carbonate or washing soda during summer. This prevents the milk from curdling, but is a very unhealthy practice. Irrespective of the scale of operations, type of habitations or profile of vendors, all vendors are reported to adulterate milk with water before it is sold. The level of adulteration is generally dependent on the price offered by the consumer. The quality of water used is also questionable.
ఈ 10 రూపాయలు సిరిసగం నీళ్ళు కలుతాయండి. అంటే కొనలేరు కాబట్టి మాకు ఆ క్వాలిటీ కావాలా అదే రేటు పెట్టలేస్తాం కాబట్టి 10 రూపాయలే కావాలన్నారు. 15 అంటే ఒక వంతు నీళ్ళు 200 పాలు, 20 అంటే తీసినట్టు పోతాండి క్వాలిటీని బట్టి. వాళ్ళు ఉద్యోగం చేసే వాళ్ళు అయితే 22 రూపాయలు తీసుకుంటాండి. మామూలుగా వాళ్ళు అయితే 15 రూపాయలు, ఇంకా మామూలు అయితే 10 రూపాయలు తీసుకుంటారు. అది
Most vendors resort to primitive tests to check the thickness of milk by dipping fingers in the milk. Some vendors go to cream separation units before selling the milk. The hygiene and sanitary conditions in these creameries are areas of concern. But when the issues were discussed with the consumers, most of them felt that these did not affect them as they boiled the milk before use.
మేము భాస్కరరావు గారి దగ్గరే పాలు తీసుకుంటున్నాము. లీటర్ వచ్చి 18 రూపాయలు. ప్యాకెట్ పాలు వాడట్లేదండి మేము, ఎందుకంటే అవి స్టోర్ చేసి ఉంటున్నాయి కదా, వాటి వల్ల భవిష్యత్తులో ఎఫెక్ట్స్ వస్తాయని. ఇవి స్వచ్ఛమైన పాలు కాబట్టి 2-3 అవర్స్లో మా దగ్గరికి వచ్చి పోస్తున్నారు కదా, అందుకని ఈ పాలనే మేము వాడుతున్నాము. ఇవి వర్ణ శాతం కూడా బాగా వస్తున్నాయి. ఇంట్లోనే మేము నెయ్యి అది చేసుకుంటున్నాము. ఇవి చాలా బాగుంటున్నాయి అని మేము ఈ గేదెల పాలే స్వచ్ఛంగా ఉంటాయని ఇవే వాడుతున్నాం సార్.
As a part of the action research, the study team tried to address a few of the problems which got ingrained into the TMS. A number of meetings and interactions were held with all the stakeholders. It included PRA exercises, meetings with self-help groups, producer groups, vendor groups, local leaders, and meetings together with animal husbandry department staff. A lot of productivity enhancement activities were also taken up.
We have been implementing this program since 3 years in 8 villages. We have organized the people, producer associations and vendor associations at mandal level. We have given the trainings to the producers and vendors in animal management and clean milk production. We have provided fat testing machines in all the villages. We have also initiated fodder demonstration plots in the target villages. We have also conducted animal health checkup camps in the villages for the better results.
గ్రామాల్లో పశు వైద్యానికి అవసరమైనటువంటి ట్రెవైసెస్ని నిర్మాణం చేసుకోవడం జరిగింది. పాలు ఎక్కువగా లభించేటువంటి కాలంలో వాళ్ళ ఉత్పత్తుల్ని స్టోర్ చేసుకోవడానికి కానీ, వ్యాపారస్తులు వారికి ఎక్కువగా వచ్చినటువంటి సరుకుని నిల్వ చేసుకోవడానికి కానీ అవసరమైనటువంటి డ్రై కూలర్స్ని అందించడం జరిగింది వాళ్ళ యొక్క సహకారంతో. అదేవిధంగా పాలలో వెన్న శాతాన్ని పరీక్షించేటువంటి యంత్రాలను కూడా ప్రజల యొక్క భాగస్వామ్యంతో గ్రామాల్లో పంపిణీ చేసి నాణ్యతను ఇరు వర్గాలకు, ఉత్పత్తిదారులకి తర్వాత వ్యాపారస్తులకు కూడా నచ్చే విధంగా వారు తృప్తి చెందే విధంగా వారి యొక్క ఉత్పత్తికి సరైన ధర వస్తుందా లేదా అనేటువంటిది ఉత్పత్తిదారులు, తర్వాత తమ కొనుక్కు వెళ్ళేటువంటి ఉత్పత్తి సరైన పద్ధతిలో ఉందా లేదా అనేటువంటిది వ్యాపారస్తులు నిర్ధారించుకునే విధంగా ఈ ఉపయోగపడుతున్నాయి.
The market share of the traditional milk sector is getting displaced by the organized milk sector at a snail's pace. The organized sector is unable to extend market access everywhere as compared to the TMS. At the current rate of displacement, it might take 6 to 7 decades to reduce TMS to a level of 10% of the milk marketed in India. If the traditional milk sector is extended a helping hand, it could improve its performance in many respects, improve the income of the producers and vendors from milk, and improve the quality of milk and value for money for consumers.
We, the scientists of National Dairy Research Institute, sensitized the producers and the vendors about the importance of the quality of the milk. About 30 vendors participated in a tailored training program for the improvement of quality of the milk, and some of these vendors are acting as trainers at the village level. Some of these vendors are keen to adopt appropriate technology in their TMS activities. We strongly feel that it's time that the policymakers look at this segment to improve the livelihood of millions associated with the traditional milk system.
We also identified and extended a few interventions and support needed by the producers, vendors and consumers. A few of the interventions and support that were identified were: government may review the legal standards for sale of unprocessed milk and train and build the capacity of producers, vendors and consumers. Criteria for selection of districts and deployment of development funds for dairy programs may be reviewed to set a balance between commercial routes for developed areas and development funds for low-producing areas. Create an enabling regulatory environment to help vendors to operate within the food laws. development of mobile quality testing facility and tamper-proof sample bottles for introduction of quality-based milk pricing. Support building up of some minimum infrastructure for low volume, low cost, instant milk processing such as mobile milk testing, tamper-proof milk samples for testing, introduction of quality-based pricing, immersion, instant low volume chilling, hygienic packing, fat balancing and standardization, suitable containers and carriers for milk transport by two-wheelers, and overnight storage for surplus milk. Effective coordination and linkage under TMS for livestock service delivery in low-producing areas. Poverty alleviation programs using low-producing animals need a thorough review. Policymakers, planners and academia may be exposed to TMS to develop a balanced view so as to capitalize for potential development outcomes.
I had chaired the research reference group of this study. The research was extremely helpful for all of us associated with the study to understand the unorganized as well as the organized milk sector operations. In fact, I and my office staff used a lot of the findings of this study to devise appropriate intervention strategies in this district and other districts of Andhra Pradesh. I am sure this study will be extremely helpful for all the policy makers, the milk producers, the dairy farmers to use the findings of this study and devise an appropriate strategy for this sector in India.
The action research is not promoting the traditional milk sector as the preferred value chain. India's model of small producers and their cooperatives is indeed a great success and the country's flagship. However, the organized sector can only operate in areas which provided the right scale of operation for economic viability. This leaves behind large parts of the country where there is inadequate milk production, leaving behind many small producers and consumers. It is in these areas that the TMS has an important role to play, provided it gets the right support in terms of hand-holding, in terms of technology, process and management. We feel that this can create the right win-win situation for the milk sector.
The traditional milk sector provides an effective livelihood option for millions of smallholder dairy farmers, vendors, and also caters to the needs of many consumers. Is it then wise to leave the sector unaddressed, while producers and vendors like Bhaskar Rao and Kumar lose the opportunity to improve their livelihood? It sure is a point worth pondering over.